Welcome to What's Cooking, New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Heart Speed Back, Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Well, as winter moves on, we're looking for great recipes that are going to include vegetables and heart-healthy diets. So today we brought in our famous Jeff VanWoermer, project director of the Heart of New Ulm. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Rebecca.
All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to put together an Italian vegetable hoagie, and then we're going to spend some time talking about the new programs that the Heart of New Ulm has put together to bring you better heart health. All right, Jeff, so let's talk a little bit about your recipe first. Where did you come up with this, and have you tried it, and do you like it?
I'm going to make an Italian vegetable hoagie, and I'm actually a big fan of this because it's got a lot of vegetables, it's got a lot of spice, it's pretty good in wintertime, summertime. The vegetables aren't complicated. You can find them in the store, and it goes great with a cup of soup or a side of cottage cheese for lunch or supper. It's a really kind of an all-around good sandwich that doesn't have a lot of calories or a lot of fat, but it packs a lot of taste.
Great. Now he is using one ingredient that we haven't seen very often, and that would be the artichoke. So what can we expect from the flavor out of these, Jeff?
The artichokes are they give it just a little bit of tang, I think, and they in a way they serve as a filler. It gives it a little bit of salt, so it gives it some flavor as well. But just a really nice one of the few vegetables that I like out of the can. Actually, it tastes pretty good.
Great. Well, the interesting thing about artichokes are they're very high in fiber. They're very high in vitamin C and magnesium, but they're actually higher in antioxidants after we put them in the microwave or steam them. So they're one of our few canned vegetables that we actually encourage you to steam or put in the microwave. So it's a great food for us to use in the winter. It's going to be packed with nutrients and great for your heart health. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting this together, Jeff.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is cut up some red onion, and I like to cut it really thin because this is going to go on top of the sandwich. And you're going to cut this to preference pretty much. I'm kind of a big onion eater, much to the dismay of my family. But one of the tricks that you can use is to take your red onions and soak them while you're building the rest of the sandwich in a cup of cold water. That's going to soften them up just a bit. It's going to take a little bit of the bite out of the onion if that's a concern for you. And red onion seems to have a little bit more potency for something like this, so my only advice is to maybe go cautious on the first time.
Right.
So.
A nice tip when you're cutting a red onion like this, because they are very strong, is go ahead and lay a little bit of vinegar down on your cutting board before you start. That's actually going to neutralize that chemical in the onion. It's going to keep your eyes from watering so much, and it's going to make it a little bit less tangy or less bite on that. So a little bit of vinegar, it's going to neutralize that, and it's a good tip. All right, so what are we doing next?
Tip. Now I'm going to kind of make the guts of the sandwich, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to slice up some tomatoes. Again, I like to slice these pretty thin, and it depends. The recipe that we have is to make 4 sandwiches. You're going to use about a quarter tomato, full-size tomato, for any one sandwich. So that's all I'm going to cut here. And again, you kind of cut these the way that you like to eat them. I kind of slice mine in half here. I'm going to put these in a mixing bowl, and I'm also going to add some of our artichoke hearts in this as well. Again, the artichoke hearts, I like to have about an equal portion between tomatoes and artichoke hearts here. This is going to be the bulk of what is in the sandwich, and then we're going to actually spice this up just a little bit. I'm adding some balsamic vinegar. And I don't use much of that because it's a little tangy, a little sweet, so again, personal preference. I like the kind of the vegetable taste to it, and a dash of olive oil.
All right. Now you're going to notice that Jeff used a regular beefsteak tomato. They're smaller at this time of the year, but this is again something we're always looking for in season. They're always available, but your best tomatoes are going to come out in the fall, late summer, so that's something that you're going to watch. The red onions are always available, and again, as he mentioned, the balsamic vinegar does have quite a bite. There's several different kinds of vinegar that you can use. You can use a raspberry vinegar. You can change that up for your taste preference, but the standard recipe does call for the balsamic.
And I'm also going to add just a sprinkle of oregano to taste in here. And then I kind of mix this up. I might add just another small shot of oil. You're just trying to moisten it more than anything. And I'm going to mix this up. And I'm just going to let it sit for a bit. And now we're going to turn our attention to the bread.
Well, Jeff, while you're cutting up that bread, why don't we spend a little bit of time talking about our Heartbeat Connection program, what it is, what our community can expect from it, and who's going to get those calls.
Heartbeat Connections is some of the special effort that we make in the project for folks that are at particularly high risk for heart disease. It's a really important part of the project because a lot of what we do is work in the community and with work sites, and we focus a lot of things on lifestyle. So eating and activity choices, helping people quit smoking and manage their stress to help improve their risk for a heart attack. But we know that there are some folks in town that are at particularly high risk for a heart attack, and we know who they are because New Ulm does a really good job of keeping records. And so the Heartbeat Connections is really just a way to invite those folks to get some additional support between their typical office visits with one of our phone coaches. And our phone coach is either a nurse practitioner or a pharmacist or a dietitian who is specially trained in cardiovascular disease prevention. And those folks are going to work one-on-one over the phone with patients to help them improve their lifestyle habits, number one, but also to more aggressively help them control their blood pressure and their cholesterol, because we know those are things that are really sort of the closest causes of heart attacks in town. So it's a big deal. It's a program that serves a pretty important group of people in town. It's not designed to replace medical care in any way. It's just some additional between visit support that's really focused on helping people prevent heart disease that sort of need to pay attention more than others.
So Jeff, some of the questions that we get and we want to answer for you today are, is this a violation of HIPAA, or how does the Heart of New Ulm find my information? Is this all part of the medical care?
It is. So this is a program that's run out of the New Ulm Medical Center. So we have an agreement with the physician group in New Ulm in partnership to review patient records, essentially. And so we act as the right arm, essentially, as the physician group, and invite these folks to participate in the program. Of course, everything's voluntary, so if a participant is not interested, we don't bother them anymore. And really what we're serving as an extension of primary care in a lot of ways, to help the physician do their thing and then help the patient get that support between visits that's going to help them improve their health.
Now, how long will somebody be enrolled in this program? Do you graduate out, or can you health out? So if you meet all the health requirements, you no longer stay in this program?
Right now, it's essentially open for a year. So we've invited folks and said, we'll work with you for a year. We're still deciding whether or not, how long this would actually go. Our goal is to work with everyone for that year's time. So whether or not they've sort of met all their goals or are struggling with them, we still want to work with them to help them maintain changes or make new ones. After that point, I think we'll decide on what some graduation criteria might be. But in the meantime, we just want to work with everyone who's invited for as long as we can to get the ball rolling.
Great. Well, Jeff already has his bread ready to go. Our ingredients are mixed up. Why don't we stop here and check in with Holly for her Fit in 5.
Welcome to today's Fit in 5. All of us like to sit down and relax and watch a TV show with our family or alone, even now and again. But if you're like me, it can be kind of hard sometimes to actually sit and watch without doing something else at the same time. Well, what better way to get some physical activity in than while watching one of your favorite TV shows? Over the course of the next couple of segments, we're going to talk about how we can incorporate physical activity into our routine into our day while we're actually watching our favorite TV program. Today we're going to go ahead and start with upper body. We've talked in past times before about how you can add resistance to your workout, and I've told you a little bit about using water jugs filled with varying amounts of water for resistance, but today I actually have some canned goods with me, and 99.9% of us are going to have these in our cupboard. We're going to have big cans or small cans, so we can use varying weights for varying resistance for our exercises. So like I said, today we're going to start with upper body. We can do these activities standing, or we can also do them sitting, and I have with me also a chair today, so I'll show you a couple different ways to do these. We want to start by doing a basic bicep curl. So I'm going to take my cans or my resistance here and just put them to the side. I'm going to stand up nice and tall. My elbows are going to be in nice and tight. And I'm just going to curl the cans about 12 times. Then I'm going to take about a 30-second rest, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Now, if I find these cans are a little light, I can go get heavier cans, or again, I can break out my milk jugs. If I want to do these seated, very simply, we just sit in a chair. We're going to sit up nice and tall at the edge of the chair so the arms are out of the way. And we're going to do our bicep curl this way. You can do one arm and then the other. So there's a variety of different ways to do this. Well, because we did the biceps or the front of the arms, we always want to do the triceps. That's what we call opposing muscle groups. So the triceps are the opposing muscle group to the biceps, so it's really important for balance that we do both muscle groups. So for triceps, what we can do is I can actually put both my soup cans in one hand. I can bring my arm into the side, and then I can extend back and in with the arm. And you want to make sure to notice that my elbow's in nice and tight. And I'm only moving from the elbow down. So my whole arm isn't going back. I'm actually extending it back and in. Now, if you have pretty good flexibility in your arms, you can also do these over the head. So you bring the elbows into the ear and you extend up and down. So it would be the same thing. You're going to do these about 12 times, take about a 30-second break, and then do another set. Now, if I want to do these in my chair, I can actually use my chair for my resistance. As long as I have a good sturdy chair and not a folding chair or something that can collapse underneath me, I'm going to set my soup cans down, or my food cans down, and I can come to the edge of the chair and sit off the edge and actually dip down and up. So it's going to work the same muscle group, just in a little bit different way. So that's another way to work the triceps or the back of the arm. The last thing we're going to work for upper body today is going to be the shoulders. And there's all different kinds of exercises for the shoulders. So again, we can stand, we can bring the cans to the side, and we can just do a lateral raise up and down. So this is called a lateral shoulder raise. We want to make sure that the elbows stay soft, we don't lock them, and that we're lifting up no further than shoulder height. We really don't want to come clear up here. We just want to prevent some type of shoulder impingement. So we're going to come up shoulder level and down. Now, if I want to sit, it's going to be kind of hard to lift to the side. I can do a different exercise where I'm seated and my arms are here, and I'm going to press straight up and then come right back down again and press straight up and back down. Same thing, we're going to do about 12 of those. Take a 30-second break and then go back again. If you do about 2 or 3 sets of these exercises, you're going to feel a lot of strength and flexibility in the muscles groups of your upper body in no time. For today's Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Have a great day.
Thanks, Holly. Make sure we're all staying active, keeping up with Fit in 5, and putting exercise into your daily activities. Okay, Jeff, where are we at with our sandwich?
Well, I've taken our hoagie bread here and I've hollowed it out just a little bit. You're almost making a little canoe to keep your stuff in. Now, the nice part about this sandwich is that it's it's all vegetable, so it's kind of up to you how much you want to put in there. But my only word to the wise is they get a lot messier the more vegetables you put in, and you'll be surprised how far they go actually. So hollowing out creates a little bit of space, and then I'm just going to take a slice of provolone cheese here and kind of lay this in the bottom. And this is sliced to fit real nice actually. So this is going to kind of keep our vegetables from soaking through here, and then I'm going to layer on top of our cheese, kind of spread out our tomatoes and our artichoke hearts.
Oh yeah, it's already filling up.
Yep, it's getting messy. And then to top it off, I'm going to bring our onions out of the water. And I'm going to sprinkle these on top. So again, I kind of like a lot of onions, but you don't need many of these to give it some kick. And the last thing I'm going to do quick is cut up some peppers to put on the very top. So this is where you can really spice it up if you like. And you know, the peppers is kind of open which type you prefer. You know, banana peppers or even green peppers would work fine. It's kind of up to you. I'm going to put just a few.
As we've mentioned in the past, we have a wide variety of peppers available here in New Ulm. Remember, if you're choosing things like habaneros or poblanos, that's really going to add a kick to your sandwich. Like Jeff mentioned, using something like a green pepper or some of the sweet banana peppers, that's going to add a little bit of sweetness in your pepper. That's going to be a different flavor. So again, all of our meals you can always tailor to your needs, your likes, your family, whatever is driving your cooking for the night. So those all go together.
So we've got a little pepper on here, and then we're going to end it with just a few lettuce leaves. And you can see that I'm starting to pile high here. And so this is the type of sandwich where you might need to just give it a little bit of oomph to smush it down. But here we have our Italian vegetable hoagie.
Great.
And it's going to taste great.
That's right. Now you'll notice that this is a vegetarian meal, so I wanted to bring in something that's going to give you a little bit of protein. So what we have is, Jeff, if you want to reach over for those for the cottage cheese, and we have some pita chips. Cottage cheese, a fat-free cottage cheese, is going to be void of any kind of saturated fat. It does not contain any of our cholesterol, and it's going to be very filling and a great source of protein. So if you're using something like a basic fat-free cottage cheese, you can flavor this up with things like a lemon pepper. We also have dill weed, which is going to make it into more of a vegetable dip. If you're using something like fennel seed, again, you're going to add different nutrients in here. You're going to find a lot of magnesium in this and your B complex, and that's going to be great as well. All of these are going to change the flavor of this cottage cheese. We're going to use our pita chips, which are low fat, and you're really going to have a nice complement to this great meal. So all of this together is going to still fit in our heart healthy diet. It's going to keep our calories low. Together you're going to be at less than 400 calories, and your sandwich is is growing. I think again, Jeff, it's growing. So all of these together are going to make a really filling meal, and it's going to keep your calories, your saturated fat, your cholesterol levels down. So before I let you go, Jeff, why don't you let everybody know where we're at with the Heart of New Ulm, the progress we've made, and what to expect in the upcoming year.
Well, it's interesting that we you know, kind of made a vegetable sandwich here, because one of the main goals of our project is to help folks in New Ulm eat more fruits and vegetables. We know that was you know, something that you know, our community could improve on, I think. You know, it's not and the goal in this isn't to sort of, you know, make vegetarians out of everyone, you know, that you know, doesn't want to go that route, but I think all of us can do a little bit better in this front, and that's a really, really important thing for heart disease. And I think we've been making some progress so far, because our most recent studies have indicated that people eat, on average, about 28 or 29% more fruits and vegetables this year than they did last year.
That's great.
So it just goes to show, I think, you know, a little creativity. You know, a lot of folks probably grew up how I did, which was you know, a side of beans or a side of peas or carrots or corn, and that was about as entertaining as it got. But you know, you can really spice it up and you know, make this into a, you know, a really nice supper or lunch, and you don't get a lot of complaints.
Good, good. You know, we have a lot of different events going on too with our Community Health Challenge. Those will continue in the next year. You know, we're continuing to work on reducing our obesity rate. Even if you're not quite ready to attend a cooking class, you know, stay with the cooking show. Each of these recipes can be made pretty easily at home. If you're ready, come on down to our cooking classes. We'll be affecting our restaurants, our grocery stores. What else, Jeff? Where else will you find the Heart of New Ulm?
Oh gosh, you're going to find us in a lot of places, I think. You know, you'll see us in work sites. You'll see us on the television, as Becca mentioned, in restaurants and grocery stores, and you know, in the medical center, obviously, I think. But also we'll be doing screenings again next year to help folks understand their risk factors a little bit better. You can expect more coaching programs, some new things on the internet. Check out our new website if you haven't yet. It's got some new things, and just trying to keep the momentum going, I think, and help everyone move in the right direction.
Great. So now we have a basic layout for the next year, but we do want to hear from you as well. If you have ideas, suggestions, programs you've liked or not liked, do give us a call at 233-1945 or visit us on our website, and that is www.heartsbeatback.org. Well, Jeff, I sure appreciate you coming in today. I think you're going to want to eat that sandwich pretty soon. It looks great.
This is good timing.
All right, that's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking, New Ulm. We'll see you next week.